just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. In this bulletin, 63 people charged for alleged seditious acts. SEDELPA declines to comment on reports of differences in party. And the US closely monitors economic growth in Fiji. The Director of Public Prosecution's Office continues to lay charges against those allegedly involved in seditious acts. To date, 63 people have been charged and produced in court on 3 separate sedition matters. Ritika Pratap reports.
The individuals have been arrested along the Singatoka to Ra corridor over the past 3 weeks. Their charges vary from sedition, urging political violence, and urging communal antagonism. The latest to be charged are Ilatia Korolala, Semi Unge Unge, and Meli Nasalasala. The 3 men were produced in the Tawa Magistrates Court this afternoon. All accused persons have been remanded in custody due to the seriousness of the charges and the continuing police investigations into the use of firearms. DPP Christopher Pride says at this stage there is no evidence to suggest that the groups charged were acting together. He adds, these matters are not related to members of an alleged paramilitary-style training group who have also been charged with sedition. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The United States is paying attention to economic growth in Fiji and the trade potential it represents. Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Kurt Tong is here for a regional meeting on trade and deepening economic ties with the Pacific. Edwin Nund reports.
Fiji's service sector is where Americans would be interested to invest.
There is great potential for further growth, including potential for growth in foreign investment coming into Fiji, and some of the sectors which seem particularly promising are tourism, services, including in logistics or medicine or other important services that can operate on a regional basis.
The US presents a market worth hundreds of millions of dollars if we can find the right products and services. E-commerce is the way to go.
Well, I think it requires creativity and a certain amount of aggressiveness to get into the U.S. market. And at this conference,
Tong will represent the U.S. government during discussions with Fiji and other Pacific states tomorrow, exploring development and economic ties.
Well, the beauty of commerce, of economic activity, is that there doesn't need to be any bias in it. The smartest thing for Fiji, in my opinion, would be to be looking in all directions.
The senior government official says Fiji has to think of itself as a regional hub in order to continue attracting investors. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
Fiji needs to tap into other Asian economies to maintain its growth momentum as its traditional partners New Zealand and Australia face slow growth. Westpac Australia senior economist Justin Smirk says it's time to look outside of our traditional markets and forge new trading partnerships. Ritika Pratap reports.
The New Zealand economy is experiencing a slowdown due to a decrease in milk prices and the slow structural rebuilding of Christchurch, which was devastated by earthquakes in 2011. Westpac senior economist Justin Smirk says indications are that the New Zealand economy will slow down quite dramatically this year. However, he says despite this, New Zealand will continue to actively trade with Fiji.
I guess what I was more trying to say is not that you should move away from Australia and New Zealand. That would be very hard to do. But more of like take advantage of opportunities to create new growth. Because Australia and New Zealand will not be growing as fast in the past as they have. And if you just depend on them, your growth will be limited. You'll have to sort of try and shave out more market share.
Smirk says, on the other hand, the Asian economies have been progressing well and there are more travellers from that part of the region.
Of course, developing economies in Asia are still becoming wealthier and they're travelling more and they're becoming more. So that is a market that you'll have to continue to grow and develop as well. And it's one where you'll see those shifts.
Smirk says it is in the best interest of Fiji to continue to find new markets.
It's kind of an inevitable organic. If some part of the world is growing faster, you want to tap into that because it'll be much easier to get growth from that than it is to tap into a part of the world that's growing slow.
The Fijian economy is projected to grow by 4.3% or even more. One of the major driving sectors of growth is the tourism industry. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Fiji is encouraging all countries in the Pacific to play its part in order to urgently address climate change. Foreign Minister Ratuinoke Kumbombola was speaking at a week-long science and cultural event in Suva last night.
Only 13 weeks remain before world leaders meet in France to agree to a new binding treaty to halt and reverse climate change.
We are calling on all community of states and development partners to shore up strong international effort to ensure we have the capacity, both human and institutional, to deal with this existential threat to the security of small island developing states.
800 communities in Fiji are already suffering the effects of climate change. 45 will have to be relocated in the next 10 years. For Fiji, the time to act is now. Kumbombola says the next few months will require hard and courageous decision to protect our very existence and survival.
Fiji, with its community of Pacific Island states, will make this call. It is a necessary call that is founded on a moral imperative, and our moral duty is to cooperate for the good of humankind and for the survival of all who call this planet our home.
Fiji is currently working on its intended nationally determined contribution and plans to submit its low-carbon strategy prior to the World Climate Summit meet in December.
The Fijian government considers to be an enormous commitment, despite its extremely low level of carbon dioxide emissions of 1.5 million tons carbon dioxide per year for the year 2013. This translates to 1.6 tons per capita compared to the world average of 5.4 tons per capita.
COP21 will be held in Paris from November 30th to December 11th. The conference will engage world leaders to share ideas and accelerate innovative solutions to address climate change, accelerate green growth and sustainable development. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
Coming up after the break, movie about the thrills and spills of a Fijian family to premiere tomorrow.
FM nabundu na sir na ngona ni ndende manda ke central rental sapo ke na rusu ko terminichi me va na koloko ni sabola
oya wa ti sonda lai
gonga ya mosdon
na ma ke rau bena tolu ke na bitu ena via kabi moliti ke na porombuka
goria na lali ne kabi bula FM nabundu na sir
SODELPA MPs have refused to comment on the alleged rift within the party. It's alleged some of them are disappointed with the leadership and conduct of party leader Rotemu Mukepa. Eleanor Turangaivu reports.
SODELPA MPs met behind closed doors today, only saying they met to discuss about the next parliament sitting.
It's a caucus meeting for next week's sitting. Oh, it's about the meeting next week.
Oh, Mick will give you a release.
Would you be able to tell us what the meeting is about? A notable absence from the caucus meeting today is the party president Ratunenga Malalambalabo, who is away in Australia with Nico Nawaikula. Outspoken MP Moses Mbulutavo was also absent. Mikale Were was on the parliament premises but did not attend the meeting. FBC News asked the MPs if the allegations of a rift were part of discussions today.
Oh, no discussion. We are just getting ready for next week's meeting.
Did you discuss about the allegations about the rift within the party? No mention at all. Thank you very much. Attempts to get comments from opposition leader Rotemu Mukapa inside the opposition office proved futile. Yesterday, FBC News was reliably informed that the party is investigating a complaint made against the leader and some party officials by some members. The party will be going back to its constitution to follow due processes when it comes to dealing with such an issue. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Police have taken in a man for questioning in relation to the death of an 87-year-old man from Sokode and Tadirua Suva. The deceased was found by his daughter when she returned home from work last Saturday. The back door of the home was open and some items were allegedly stolen. Police say the suspect was apprehended yesterday. The Department of Forests is calling on resource owners to work with the government to conserve forests for future generations. Studies have shown that destructive and unsustainable logging, as well as clearing for agriculture and plantations, threaten the remaining forests. Ali Kimbia has more.
The Forestry Department is concerned that many resource owners do not have adequate information about how to protect our forest.
One of the main challenges that we're currently facing right now is to have more awareness with the resource owners. This does not mean that the resource owners are not aware, but I think it is awareness is an ongoing activity, and we must keep on doing it.
Conservator of Forest Sabinatha Langataki says everyone should act now or face the impact of losing our forest.
You cannot fully conserve the forest, you have to use the forest. So forest can contribute to your economic development, but you have to use it in such a way that you do not overuse it.
Lands Minister Mereseni Buniwanga stated that it is important for resource owners to take full responsibility.
Government has done and is continuing to do its part in protecting Itauke resource owners' interests. What is left for us as resource owners is to do our part.
The Department of Forest is currently working with Itauke resource owners to create more awareness on the conservation of forest and for them to use forest in a sustainable manner. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
A New Zealand-based movie production, Twisted Families, will begin premiering in cinemas around the country from tomorrow. Majority of the film had been shot in New Zealand and features actors from Fiji, New Zealand, India and Pakistan. The film is about a Fijian family portraying the Fijian culture and language plays an important part in the movie. They previously shot 2 films, Urban Turban, which hosted its movie world premiere in Suva last year.
What we are looking for is people who are very willing to be part of this journey of a filmmaking process, whether it is behind the scenes or in front of the camera. And I will be holding certain on-screen acting workshops.
Their next movie is titled Feeling Lucky, to be also shot in Fiji, and are looking for cast members. The Hibiscus Events Group is working closely with the Suva City Council in engaging road construction specialist Fulton Hogan to improve the venue of the festival. The appalling muddy ground conditions at the foreshore have irked many stallholders and members of the public. Madhyum Bolaitamana reports.
The Hibiscus Event Group is always blessed.
The man at the helm of the organizing committee of the Vodafone Hibiscus Festival is assuring everyone that all is well despite the unfavorable conditions.
Precautionary measures that we need to be taken was scrape the ground, the dirt that is got wet. So we have done that last night, and we have put in sand that is required. We have put over 20 cubes by 5 loads of sand in there to let the water run in the drainage that we have made.
With that done, Hibiscus Events Group Executive Chairperson Hirdesh Prasad says that there was never an option to relocate the festival.
Our discussion with Dispatch, OSS, police, this is the ideal places that we have. Other the places are small or logistically it is not practical.
And a timely prompting from the festival's reigning queen to members of the public.
Well, I know it's muddy, I know it's a bit wet, but this is an annual event that only comes once every year.
For those who have been at the forefront of the festival, the past few days has been built around lasting friendships.
We all stand next to each other and back each other up with whatever happens on the stage or off the stage, which is what matters to us the most. So that's been best.
Young people will be on center stage tonight with Youth Night. The program includes a King Contestants Talent Show. Madiun Boletamana, FBC News.
The ancient traditional sport of Veitawanga will be revived tomorrow at the Silver Foreshore. 11 twin-hulled canoes will take to the sea as part of the Vodafone Hibiscus Festival. Competitors from the Lau Group are also here to showcase the ancient traditional mode of seafaring. Keeping in line with the theme of the Hibiscus Festival, the organizers hope the event will be an eye-opener for spectators tomorrow.
I think it's understanding the importance of protecting the environment, not burning fossil fuels. Canoes, especially for coastal or river work, they're very efficient and for carrying people or carrying goods. And so I think a balance in our modern world is not really going back, it's preserving what is good from the past and continuing to use it.
The Veitawanga competition will be hosted by Bull FM and starts at 9 a.m. at the Silver Foreshore tomorrow. And on that note, it's sports time now with Jamie.
Jackie, and good evening in sports tonight. Nicola Matawalu targets his first Rugby World Cup and Fiji football side ready to take on neighbours Tonga tomorrow. These stories and more coming up.
छू 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 हे नमस्ते फीजी आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे मिर्ची इट्स हॉट
Former Fiji Sevens rep and current flying Fijian Nicola Matawalu has his eyes fixed on the Rugby World Cup. The feisty halfback knows competition is tough, but he is ready to give it his best. Indra Singh has more.
Having played at almost every top international level, now Nicola Matawalu wants to play in his first World Cup.
It's come to sacrifice and hard working. Without hard working and without sacrifice and without God, you can achieve anything.
He knows the competition for the number 9 jumper is not easy when he has names like Nemia Kanatale and Henry Seniloli to overcome.
Well, I always say everyone's they all work hard, and we're trying to all go for the number 9 jersey.
The former 7-star who now plies his trade in Europe says Fiji is not rated highly for the World Cup, but the team knows its capabilities.
The pool that in front of us and the thing, I will take one at a time.
Meanwhile, assistant coach Tambai Matson says spirits within the camp is something which is second to none.
Yeah, really good. I think as a group they're very keen to learn. They're good professionals. I've been really impressed by the work ethic of the group. You can see there's a real focus, and maybe that's the World Cup year.
It's day 2 of the final week of preparation camp for the Flying Fijians here at the GPH Hotel, where the team is counting down to Friday. As mentioned yesterday by coach John McKee and his troops, that they are ready for the next 3 days before the 31-member squad is announced on Friday. Who will make it? Who will it drop? Who will it include? Will there be any bolters? Will only be known on Friday night at this very venue. Interesting, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, assistant coach Tabai Matson says it's a great feeling to be involved with the Flying Fijians. The former national rep and current Crusaders assistant coach says he's enjoying every moment with the team and is happy with the progress being made.
And I think for me it's a real honour. You never know when you'll be involved with the World Cup. It's clearly a pinnacle event in our sport, the most important event. So to be involved with this team, my country of birth is very special for me. But also as a professional coach, I've got a job to get done.
The Flying Fijians team for the World Cup will be named on Friday evening. Over 2,000 students are competing in this year's Rewa Galaxy Kachi Rugby Tournament at ANZ Stadium in Suva. One of the biggest turnouts in recent times, the young ruggers have travelled from far and wide to be part of the annual event. Talenda Dakadaka reports.
The Kachi Rugby Tournament always lives up to the hype. Each year, teams from all corners of the country with their hordes of supporters come to compete in the tournament.
We are so glad to have the competition back. Rewa Galaxy, Fiji Primary Schools Rugby Union. We are so thankful for all the rugby athletes who have come in numbers, and we've had 17 districts coming from across Honolulu and also from the southern, from Kandavu and from the Lomaiviti group.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan was chief guest in the opening ceremony and shared how much he has come to love the tournament.
Yeah, no, this is probably the best thing I think that happens in Fiji, in my opinion, in rugby terms, as far as participation and foundations. This is where they get to really enjoy themselves. They love their sport, and also the values that we all want to have at the highest level. About teamwork, about honesty, about hard work.
There are no monetary rewards for these teams at the end of the tournament. Judging from the expressions of these little ruggers, the chance to wear their jerseys and take on other teams is payment enough. Talento Takataka, FBC Sports.
Vodafone Fiji football coach Carlos Buzetti says his players are ready to take down Tonga when they face off in a friendly match tomorrow. The national team has been in camp since the end of the Battle of the Giants tournament preparing for this match. Josephine Navula has more.
With only a few days in camp, the national side is wasting no time in getting back on the field to prepare for their upcoming match against Tonga. Head coach Carlos Buzetti says the players know what to expect during the game.
We had the last game against Wellington Phoenix. The team played very well, so we are very confident, and they have been training very well here, so they are ready, they are fit. They have been playing the BOG, so everybody is fit. So they are ready to play and give a good display of football.
He adds there has been a vast improvement showed by the squad.
They are more complete players now, more composed, and they're using better the ball. So they've been doing a good job for the districts and also when they come into play.
Buzetti says, come game time, the players will deliver.
We have enough players to represent the country and good quality players, and it's a good mix and a good blend. There will be more players on the 27, 28-year-olds and some of the younger ones.
The Vodafone Fiji football side will take on Tonga at 7 p.m. at Govin Park in Ba tomorrow. Josephine Novula, FBC Sports.
That was your sports for this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
About 79,000 visitors arrived in the country in July, surpassing the previous high of July 2011 by 10%. The Fiji Bureau of Statistical News reports the arrival figure is 12% higher than July last year. There were increases in visitors from New Zealand, followed by Australia, then the Pacific Islands. However, decreases were recorded in the number of visitors from continental Europe and the UK. 80%, or about 70,000 of the visitors came for a holiday, while others came to visit their friends or relatives and business-related purposes. Most of the visitors were in the 25 to 64 age group or the working age population. About 14,000 of the visitors in July were children below the age of 14. Cloudy skies and showers were experienced over eastern areas of the larger islands today, while mainly fine weather prevailed. East to southeast winds prevail over most of the southwest Pacific, bringing cool temperatures and showers to eastern shores. 26 degrees was the highest temperature in Savu and Suva today. Levukangau and Wunise in Kandavu only managed a maximum of 24 degrees. Banadi and Lautoka reached 28, while Ambasa was the warm spot at 29. It will be cool again tonight. Expect occasional showers over Kandavu, southern and eastern parts of larger islands, Lomaiviti and Lau Group tomorrow. The outlook for Thursday, some showers over the interior and eastern parts of larger islands, elsewhere fine. And the main points again. A total of 63 people have to date been charged for alleged seditious activities. SEDELPA parliamentarians have met behind closed doors today, but they would not say whether the meeting discussed allegations of differences within the party. And police have apprehended a man in relation to the death of an elderly man in his home last weekend. This week we're asking, do you think the Hibiscus Festival is up to the standards of the previous years? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Good night.